there, magnificent people. Welcome to the Catholic Teacher Pretty Much Daily Message. If we haven't met before, well, that's a tragedy. My name's Jonathan Doyle, and I care deeply about Catholic education. I care deeply about Catholic teachers because I truly believe that one Catholic teacher can make a huge difference in the life of any young person, their families, their colleagues, their community. That's why I do what I do. Please make sure you've subscribed. Hit the subscribe button here so I can get this to you every day. I'm trying to publish Monday right through to Friday, give you the weekends off. There's a bunch of links under here. You can book me to speak. You can get free 10-week access to our Catholic Teacher Formation program. You're going to love that. Karen, my amazing wife, does a beautiful masterclass program online around the world for Catholic women. Go and check out her masterclass. She's amazing. You're going to love that stuff. What else? Podcast. Yes. I go deeper usually in the podcast version, so there'll be a link under here to that, but this is the shorter version. Enough of the intros. You've subscribed now, haven't you? You have, right? You've done that. Because if you haven't subscribed, the baby Jesus is going to cry. And you don't want to do that. All right, let's begin. So yesterday I reached out to my list around the world, my email list, and I asked questions. I said, what do you guys want me to talk about? The best channels are the channels that either have really helpful, cool stuff and great guests, or channels that have user-generated content, stuff that you guys want to hear about. So I got these beautiful emails, so many emails from people around the world. The next few weeks, I'm going to be rolling through these so you know we're going to have content that's really relevant. Let's jump into the first one. I'm going to give you this question that I got. You ready? Let's do it. I find it challenging to attend Mass. I just feel disconnected with my Catholic identity, but especially attending my church. All right, friends. I got some thoughts on this. They could be controversial. I go where the grace is. The parish-based model of Catholicism only really began to emerge around the Industrial Revolution. Populations grew rapidly. There was a huge need for more and more parishes and more areas as Britain industrialized in the 1860s. The parish model is relatively new. So here's a crazy thought. Why do we automatically assume that the local parish is going to be the best place for our spiritual growth? You see, for many years, we used to go to this little Carmelite monastery because the Mass was beautiful. It was in a beautiful church. And I remember once there was a retired bishop, and God rest his soul, I'm not judging the man. He came up to us after Mass and he was genuinely offended. He was angry that we were there. He said, you should be at your local parish supporting it. I get the logic, but our local parish was a train wreck. It was a building, if I could say this delicately, that had been vomited straight out of the bowels of the architectural conflagration of post-Vatican II. It was like the worst architect in the world had fallen out of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. It was just like, I can't pray in here. I go into this building, the overwhelming desire is to run out screaming. The music. Today, as I'm recording this, is actually the feast day of Pope St. Gregory the Great. You know, let's call him Pope St. Gregory the Busy or the Efficient, because he did like about 48 billion things, including giving us Gregorian chant. We were at Mass on the Feast of the Assumption recently. It was my daughter's birthday. We went to a midday Mass at the cathedral. Out of nowhere, there's this phenomenal group just dropping Gregorian chant out of nowhere. And the whole congregation is just like, what just happened? It was like amazing. It was the most beautiful sound we'd heard. Gregory the Great gave us this beautiful music. There are many parishes that do beautiful music. There are many who do music that would not be played to inmates at Guantanamo Bay, right? There is some music out there that is harmful to children and animals, right? You just cannot play it. So what I'm getting at here is I just go where I'm fed. So if you're struggling at Mass, the first question I'd say is, are you going somewhere beautiful? Are you going somewhere with good, holy priests who pray the Mass beautifully? They are not celebrity priests. One of the things that used to bug us was getting 4 homilies at a Mass, right? You'd get a priest who would give a pre-homily before or after the opening prayer. Then there'd be a homily at the homily, and then there'd be a homily after the Our Father, and then just before the final blessing, be another homily. No, Father, sorry, you get one. You get one homily, right? One. I got little kids with me. I got my kids. They're like young. They're screaming. They're breaking things. One homily, please. So where we go now, we go to the cathedral where we live, and we're so blessed. You know, we've got this beautiful progression of newly ordained priests that have come through, and whatever formation's been going on recently has been working because these guys are great. They are just really good. pastorally, accomplished, capable, good men who pray the Mass beautifully. And I've been taking my kids there for years, and the blessing upon our kids has been huge. So what I'm getting at here is, if you're struggling to go to Mass, you're feeling disconnected, first look at where you're going to Mass. And I know some of you are going to hit me up in the comments, you're going to email me saying, Jonathan, how dare you, this is terrible, you can't tell people to leave their local parish. I'm just telling you that we're not coming back. We got one life, and our job is to become saints. Our job is to let the Holy Spirit lead us to sanctity so we can bless our families, bless our communities, and get home to heaven. So I'm going to go where the grace is. So this message, this question was, I struggle. Well, it's harder to struggle if it's beautiful. It's harder to struggle when it's holy. It's harder to struggle when it's reverent. And the silence and the peace and the reverence and the behaviors in the church are beautiful. So people can say, oh, Jonathan, you're such a conservative. Here's my point about being a conservative. And I don't see myself as a rad trad or anything like that. I definitely don't. No offense to anybody again, but I see myself as conservative. What does that mean? Roger Scruton, the brilliant British philosopher, probably the greatest conservative philosopher of the last 100 years, he said something that stuck with me. He said, what is a conservative? Conservative is somebody who simply believes that there are some things worth conserving. That's what makes me a conservative. I believe there are some things worth conserving. I believe that beauty and reverence and stillness and holiness and architectural splendor and beautiful music, I believe they are worth conserving. If that makes me a conservative, give me the t-shirt, give me the neck tat, I'm going to do it. So I would encourage the person who sent me that question to really begin to look around, pray, Holy Spirit, guide me. Bring me to a community that will be a source of blessing in my life. Bring me to a place of holiness. Bring me to a church and a pastor that are going to lead me to Christ and help me to grow. I think that's a big part of it, because if you go somewhere where you're feeling alienated and disconnected and it's not pleasant and it's just a struggle, then that's hard. Now, again, people have celebrated Mass on battlefields, right? Mass has been celebrated in all sorts of incredibly difficult, terrible places, but I see that as the exception, not the norm. We don't have to create suffering in our churches, friends. We need to create beauty and glory and peace and sanctity. All right, what else? Anything else from that question? Feeling disconnected. I think it's a question of pursuing community, pursuing it deliberately, purposefully. It can be hard to do. Every parish is so different. Some parishes are just brilliant at this. But I would just say, if you're lacking community, it's something that has to be deliberately sought after. Sometimes we have to be conscious and deliberate about it. Okay, there's a lot in that message. I would love to know what you think. If you think I am retrograde, if you think I should be silenced, you can't. You can get me kicked off YouTube, but I'm on Rumble as well. So put a comment here. Say, Jonathan, I'm with you 100%. Go and find a beautiful church. Or say, Jonathan, you're crazy. You're leading people astray. Put something in the comments here. Go check out the other links. Please make sure you've subscribed. And help each other, just because the person who sent me this question will probably be watching this video. So you put something in the comments about what you think. Go check out the links, subscribe. My name's Jonathan Doyle. I'm going to do another one tomorrow. So you and I, my friend, are going to be speaking very soon.